Hi friends, my name is Nandita.
Good morning dear students. Today we are going to discuss about locomotion and movement from chapter 20 biology class 11 CBSE syllabus. Children, now let us discuss about types of movement. Children, let us see the definition and meaning of movement. Movement is when living organisms move from one place to another place. In case the movement changes the location or position of a living organism, it is called locomotion. Climbing, running, and walking are examples of locomotion. Movement is a feature shared by all living organisms. It constitutes the various key aspects of living organisms, ranging from protoplasmic motion in a cell or unicellular organisms to organ movement in complex organisms. Children, now let us say what is locomotion. Locomotion refers to the movement that results in a location change. Movement of a body is performed by all living organisms including plants. Animals are able to move their body parts by movement of external body parts or internal organs. Children, let us discuss the purpose of external body part movements. They are like collecting information, maintenance of equilibrium, locomotion, capturing and ingestion of food, breathing, etc. Now children, let us see the purpose of internal body parts movements are circulation of blood, exchange of gases, peristalsis, movement of passage of food and urine, movement of gametes and fetus in genital tract and uterus during fertilization and childbirth respectively. Human body exhibits three main types of movements, that is amoeboid movement, ciliary movement and muscular movement. Children, let us discuss in detail about amoeboid movement, ciliary movement and muscular movement. Amoeboid movement. Amoeboid movement is the most typical mode of locomotion in adherent eukaryotic cells. Amoeboid movement is a crawling or oozing motion that some cells and unicellular organisms use to move. It characterized as by the following. Pseudopodia. The cells form pseudopodia or false feet, which are convex extensions of the cellular surface. Cytoplasmic flow. The cells uses cytoplasmic flow to pull itself forward by changing the thickness of cytoplasm in different areas of the cell. Plasmocell and plasmogel. Cytoplasmic fluid turns into plasmocell, a thinner, more watery version of cytoplasm which flows forward and pulls the membrane with it. At the tail end, cytoplasm thickens into plasmogel, which forms a wall to prevent the plasmocell from flowing backward. Locomotion. Locomotion. Amoeboid movement can be used for walking, gliding and swimming. Amoeboid movement is used by a variety of cells including white blood cells, smile molds and protozoans. Children, let us see the amoeboid movement like crawling. Crawling is one form of amoeboid movement which starts when an extension of the moving cell pseudopodia bends tightly to the surface. The main bulk of the cell pulls itself toward the bound patch. By repeating this process, the cell can move until the first bound patch is at the very end of the cell, at which point it detaches. The speed at which cells crawl can vary greatly, but generally crawling is faster than swimming, but slower than gliding on the smooth surface. However, crawling does not become notably slower on uneven and irregular surfaces, while gliding becomes much slower under such conditions. It seems that crawling can be either left driven or actin driven, means see sections below, depending on the nature of the surface. Children, now let us discuss gliding. Gliding is similar to crawling, but it is characterized by much less adherence of the surface, making it faster on smoother surfaces, which requires less traction but slower on more difficult and complicated surfaces. Some cells glide with the same mechanism as crawling but with larger pseudopodias and less surfaces adherence. Other cells use a different method to glide. A small patch of the cell already touching the surface binds to the surface, after which the cytoskeleton pushes or pulls on the anchored patch to slide the cell forward. This difference forms the aforementioned mechanism in that the cells does not extend a pseudopod, so there is relatively little deformation of the cells as it progresses. Now let us discuss about swimming. Many different prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells can swim, and many of them have either flagella or cilia for that purpose. These dedicated structures are not necessary for swimming through, as they are amoeba and other eukaryotic cells which lack flagella and cilia but can still swim, although it is slower than crawling or gliding. There are two different proposed mechanisms for amoeboid swimming. In the first, the cell extends small pseudopods which then move down the slides of the cell, acting like paddles. In the second, the cell generates an internal flow cycle with the cytoplasm flowing backward along with the membrane edge and forward through the middle, generating a force on the membrane which moves the cell forward. Children, now let us discuss about the movement in ciliary and flagellar movement. This type of movement occurs those organisms which are covered with ciliated epithelium. It helps to capture dust particles that are inhaled during breathing and also helps to move the eggs from the fallopian tube into the uterus. Cilia and flagella are organelles that extends from the surface of eukaryotic cells and move in different ways to perform various functions. Let us discuss each and everything in detail. First one is movement. Cilia move in a rational, fast beating motion, while flagella moves in a rotatory motion in prokaryotes and a bending motion in eukaryotes. Now come to the coordination. Coordination. Cilia beats in coordination or one after the other while flagella beats independently. Function. Cilia help move protozoa through water and generate water currents for feeding. Flagella are only found in sperm cells in the human body. Rhythm. Cilia have two types of rhythm motion. One is metachronic, while cilia in a row beat sequentially, and isochronic, where all the cilia in a row beat at the same time. Mechanism. Cilia and flagella move due to the sliding of outer doublet microtubules relative to each other, which is powered by ATP. Doublet microtubules which is relative to each other with mechanism. Cilia and flagella move due to the sliding of outer doublet microtubules relative to each other, which is powered by ATP. Children, now let us discuss about muscular movement. Muscles account for the majority of movement in a complex organism. Breathing, heart function, digestion, appendage movement, and locomotion are all carried out by various muscles of our body. The synchronized movement of the skeletal, neural, and muscular system is referred as locomotion. Muscular movement is the movement of the body that caused by muscle contracting. Muscles are responsible for most of the movement in a multicellular organisms, including breathing, digestion, and movement of limbs.